She laughed. He's family. What are you going to do? He just stood there. Silent. I didn't say a word. I just walked away from them both. Now, 2 years later, they're begging me for a signature that could save them from ruin. They should have seen the shock on their faces. Alright, Reddit. Here goes. Typing this out feels surreal. Like I'm narrating a movie of my own life. But it's real. Every crushing second of it. This is how everything went from normal to an absolute nightmare. So for context, my husband 24, almost 25 and I 25F have been married a little over a year. But together for 5. We have 2 amazing little boys. He's from Mexico. Came here right when he turned 18. About a couple of months ago? His cousin. She's 17. Moved here from Mexico too. She literally didn't know a soul. No friends. No other family besides us. Naturally, we stepped up. We tried really hard to make her feel at home. Always inviting her along whenever we went out. Just wanting her to settle in and have some fun. She's family. Right. That's just what you do. One night, we decided to hit up a local dance. Nothing fancy. Just a chance to get out. Listen to some music. Maybe get a little loose. When we went to pick up his cousin, it was instantly clear she'd already gotten a head start on the party. Like really drunk. Not just buzzed. But wobbly. Slurring words. My first thought was, geez. She overdid it. But then I remembered she's still young. Still finding her feet in a new country. Probably lonely. My husband and I exchanged a quick glance. A silent agreement we weren't going to leave her alone. We'd still take her. Let her have some fun. Keep an eye on her. That felt like the right thing to do. The responsible family thing. Once we got to the dance, I grabbed 2 margaritas for myself. After those, I definitely felt a bit buzzed. But it was more of a dull hum. The main reason I wasn't really feeling like cutting loose was because ID just had COVID-19 the weeks before. And my breathing still wasn't 100%. Even simple movements felt like ID run a marathon. So, I figured ID mostly hang back. Maybe sway a bit. But no serious dancing for me. My husband. Seeing her cousin still pretty out of it and probably a target for any random guys. Took her onto the dance floor. He said something like, "I'll dance with her so no creeps try anything." He's always been pretty protective. So I just nodded. It made sense. She was vulnerable. And he was being a good older cousin. I watched them for a while. Just 2 family members dancing. They swayed. They twirled. He laughed. She stumbled a bit but kept going. I didn't think anything of it. Nothing stood out to me as odd or inappropriate. It was just him. Being the protective family guy I knew. Making sure his young cousin had a good time without getting into trouble. My mind was more on my lingering cough and the next chance to sit down. Looking back, I keep replaying those moments. Was there something I missed? A sign. A look. A tiny detail that should have made me pause. Right now, all I see is me. Trusting my husband. Trying to do right by his family. How could I have been so blind? It's like I was watching a completely different movie. I'm sitting here. Trying to process this first part. Trying to figure out where the cracks started to form without me even noticing. Was I naive for just trusting him? For not seeing past the protective cousin act? I'm honestly lost on how to even begin to understand this. Any thoughts on how I could have missed this? Reddit. The night wore on. I was mostly watching from the side. Nursing my drink. Still feeling a bit off from the COVID. Just trying to enjoy the atmosphere. My husband and his cousin kept dancing. It was more intense than I thought. A lot of close contact. But I tried to brush it off as just her being drunk and him trying to keep her steady. The music was loud. The lights were flashing. And I was still convinced he was just being a good guy. Then, at some point, his cousin got kicked out. I didn't see exactly what happened. But I heard some commotion. And suddenly she was being escorted out by security. My husband was with her? Instead of coming back to me. Instead of even looking in my direction or sending a quick text. They both just vanished. 1 minute they were there. The next, gone. A cold, heavy feeling started to sink into my stomach. It wasn't a gut punch yet. More like a slow, creeping dread. Why didn't they come back? Why didn't he tell me anything? I scanned the dance floor. Then the exits. Then the bar. Nothing. Panic started to bubble. It wasn't just a where are they feeling. It was a deeper, more primal alarm. My brain tried to rationalize it. Maybe she's really sick and he took her to the car. Maybe they're just outside getting some air. But none of those explanations felt right. My intuition, that quiet little voice you sometimes try to ignore, started screaming at me. I wandered outside, looking around the parking lot, my eyes darting from car to car. That's when it hit me, like a physical jolt. My truck. I don't know why, but a sudden, undeniable urge pulled me towards my truck. Every step felt heavier than the last, my heart thumping against my ribs. It was as if my body already knew what my mind was desperately trying to deny. And then I saw it. My truck, parked a little further away, almost hidden in the shadows. And as I got closer, the sight slammed into me. Hard. There she was. His 17-year-old cousin. In the passenger seat. Clearly visible. No pants on. And there he was. My husband. The man I married. The father of my children. Claiming the seats with her. My entire life. Everything I thought I had. Every memory. Every promise. Every plan. Just didn't exist anymore. It felt like my soul was being ripped out. Piece by piece. The world blurred. My knees almost buckled. It was like I was watching it happen to someone else. But the pain, the absolute devastation, was all mine. She saw me. Her head snapped up. Eyes wide. A deer caught in headlights. And then, with an audacity that still makes my stomach churn, she had the nerve to say, her voice hushed and hurried, "He's still inside. You can't see what's going on." As if that made it better. As if that wasn't confirmation of the most horrific betrayal imaginable. As if I hadn't already seen enough to understand exactly what was going on. My brain just locked up. It couldn't process it. Couldn't put the words husband and cousin and this together. It was too much. Right now, my head is spinning. How could he? How could she? The sheer disrespect. The violation of trust. The complete disregard for me. Our marriage. Our kids. It's just unthinkable. I feel utterly numb and hollowed out. What was he thinking? Or was he not thinking at all? What am I even supposed to do with this? I just found my husband cheating with his 17-year-old cousin. This can't be real. Reddit. I'm shattered. I need to know. How do you even begin to comprehend something like this? What would your first thought be beyond the initial shock? I feel like I'm drowning in a void of disbelief and pain. I don't know how I did it. I don't remember making a conscious decision. It was like my body went on autopilot while my mind just floated somewhere above, watching the scene unfold. After her pathetic attempt to hide him, a strange, cold calm washed over me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just functioned. I got in the driver's seat of my truck, the same seat he was just in, and started the engine. The silence in the car was deafening. She was fumbling around in the passenger seat, pulling her pants back on, her breath hitching with quiet sobs. I didn't look at her. I couldn't. I just kept my eyes fixed on the road. The street lights blurring into long streaks of yellow. My brain was just white noise. There were no thoughts. No plans. Just a single, pulsing command. Get her home. Get her out of my sight. I drove the few miles to her place, my hand steady on the wheel, my face a complete blank. It felt like I was a robot executing a program. When we pulled up to her house, my husband finally moved. He didn't say a word. No apology. No explanation. Not even a glance in my direction. He just opened the truck door, got out, and walked with her towards the front door. I sat there, engine idling, watching them in my rearview mirror. And then, he just left. He didn't come back to the truck. He didn't turn around. He just disappeared into the darkness with her. The passenger door was still slightly ajar. I reached over and slammed it shut. The sound was so final, so loud in the quiet suburban street. That's when the autopilot switched off and the first real thought broke through the static. He's not coming home. It wasn't a question. It was a cold, hard fact. He didn't just betray me. He abandoned me. He left me, right there, to deal with the fallout all by myself. I put the truck in drive and drove home, the tears finally starting to fall, hot and silent on my cheeks. Now, I'm home. The clock on the microwave says 3:28 a.m. The house is dead quiet. I walked through the living room and peeked into my boys' bedroom. They're both fast asleep. looking so peaceful, so innocent. They have no idea that their whole world just tilted on its axis. They have no idea that their father isn't in his bed, that he chose his teenage cousin over his own family. I'm sitting on the couch now, wrapped in a blanket. But I've never felt so cold. Every piece of my life, every happy memory, feels tainted. Our wedding photos on the wall look like a lie. The whole 5 years we built together, the family we created, it all feels like it was ripped to shreds in a single night. He didn't just break my heart. He obliterated it. He took a hammer to the foundation of our entire life. So, here I am. Read it. It's 3:28 in the morning. My husband is God knows where. My 2 kids are sleeping down the hall. And my life as I knew it is over. I don't know what to do. Do I call his phone? Do I call his family? Do I just sit here and wait? I feel completely paralyzed. The shock is wearing off. And the agony is starting to set in. And I am so lost. Please. What is my next step? What do I do now?